All right, so today we're going to get into the biology behind something kind of strange. That feeling when you're looking for inspiration online, but you end up feeling totally drained instead. And look, this isn't some mindset hack we're talking about. This goes way deeper, right down to your nervous system. So let's just dive right in.
You know the feeling, right? You're scrolling, looking for that little spark, that jolt of inspiration. But when you finally close the app, you just feel heavier, kind of flat, maybe a little uncertain, and definitely not more ready to put your own stuff out there. If you've been there, I just want you to know you're so not alone in this.
Okay, and this is maybe the most important thing we're going to talk about today, so lean in for this one. That heavy feeling, it is not a personal failure. It's not you being lazy or uninspired. It's actually a super predictable biological response. Yeah, a signal from your nervous system. Let's break down exactly why it happens.
So to really get this, we've got to take a trip back in time, like way, way back. See, our brains, our nervous systems, they're running on some seriously ancient software. And that software was built for a world that looks absolutely nothing like our digital one. That mismatch, that's where all the trouble starts.
Think about it. For almost all of human history, our whole world was basically a small tribe, right? Maybe 150 people tops. And our brains got really, really good at tracking where we fit in that small, predictable group. You know, am I safe? Do I belong? What's my status here? That was the whole game.
Okay, so hold that number, 150, in your head. Now let's look at today, 240. That's roughly how many short videos a lot of us see every single day. And each one of those isn't just a video, it's a data point, a potential comparison. Our poor ancient brain is just trying to keep up. A system built for a village of 150 is getting hit with a fire hose of information from hundreds, even thousands of peers every day. It's completely overwhelmed.
Now here's where it gets really fascinating. Our brains have this built-in, well, you could call it a glitch or a feature, I guess. It's called the upward comparison bias. It means we don't just compare ourselves randomly. Nope. We're hardwired to look up at the people who seem to have more status, more resources, who just seem to have it all together. Back in the tribe, that was super useful. You'd learn from the best hunter. But today, in a world of curated online profiles, it's a perfect recipe for feeling like you're never, ever enough. And this is the absolute key right here. Your nervous system, bless its heart, has no idea that it's looking at a carefully curated highlight reel from a total stranger. It can't tell the difference. It just sees all these polished, perfect moments and treats them as cold, hard data about your actual peers. And what's the result? It triggers this constant, low-grade, false alarm that you are seriously falling behind.
So this whole mismatch between our ancient brain and modern tech, it doesn't just happen once. It traps us. It creates this vicious, self-reinforcing cycle that we're going to call the deflation loop. And it's sneaky because the very thing you do to try and get out of it is what keeps you stuck in it. Let's walk through how this thing works, step by step. So it might start with you just not creating as much. You feel a little stuck, so you're not sharing your work. And what do we do when we feel stuck? We go looking for inspiration, right? So we start consuming more content. But that just fires up that pesky upward comparison bias. And that leads directly to what we're calling nervous system deflation, that heavy blah feeling. And of course, when you feel like that, the last thing you want to do is create. And boom, you're right back at the start of the loop.
Now, it is so important to get this. This is not a motivation problem. This isn't about willpower. The real root of this whole loop is about misplaced authority. It's when we start looking out there for the answers, for permission, for validation, instead of looking in here. We're essentially handing over our power to the algorithm.
Okay, so if that deflated feeling isn't a failure, then what in the world is it? This is where we get to flip the whole script. That feeling is not the enemy. It's a messenger. It's your own biology, your own nervous system, trying to send you a really, really important message.
I want you to really hear this, maybe even say it out loud. Deflation is not failure. Deflation is regulation. It's your nervous system being incredibly smart and hitting the brakes. It's not punishment. It's not a sign you're not good enough. It's protection.
Think of that heavy feeling as a giant biological stop sign. It's your system basically yelling, whoa, hold on. This thing we're doing, constantly looking outside for who we are, what we're worth, where we're going, it's burning up all our energy. This is not sustainable. It's time to come back home, to yourself.
So, how do we get out? How do we take our foot off that biological brake pedal? Well, the answer isn't to hustle harder or even to find better inspiration. The way out is actually to flip a switch, to go from consuming to creating. And when you do that, you start to take back your own internal authority.
This really breaks it down, doesn't it? On one side, you've got consumption. All the good-feeling brain chemicals, the dopamine, it's all coming from the outside. Your sense of, am I doing it right, drifts outward, and your own identity gets a little shaky. But look at the other side, creation. Suddenly, you're the one making the dopamine. Internally, your authority comes flooding back inward, and your sense of self, it gets solid again.
Here's the bottom line. Consumption whispers in your ear. They are the source. The answers are out there. But creation? Creation is an act of power that reminds every cell in your body, no, I am the source. You become the author of your own experience again.
And we really need to be clear about what we mean by creation here. This is not about self-promotion or building your brand or marketing. Forget all that. Think of creation as a fundamental practice for your own system. It's how you regulate your nervous system. It's how you orient yourself back to your own true north. It's you claiming your authorship. Honestly, it's just good leadership hygiene.
Okay, so this isn't just about you feeling better, which is great, by the way. This internal shift has this incredible ripple effect. The stability you cultivate inside yourself, it actually impacts everyone you come into contact with. At the end of the day, leadership is really just state transmission. People feel your energy, your nervous system state, way more than they hear your words. When you're frazzled and looking outward for answers, you transmit that chaos. But when you are grounded and oriented from within, you transmit safety, you transmit calm, and people can't help but be drawn to that feeling of stability. And this really is the perfect metaphor for this entire idea. Think about a lighthouse. Does a lighthouse worry if another lighthouse down the coast is brighter? No. Does it freak out and change its light for every single boat that passes? Of course not. It just stands there, grounded, solid, and shines its light. And just by doing that, by being steady, it helps everyone else navigate the waters. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. The next time that heavy, deflated feeling creeps in, what if you didn't fight it? What if you didn't diagnose it or try to fix it by scrolling for an answer? What if you just recognized it for what it is? A signal. A cue from your body to just create something small, something just for you, something to remind yourself that you are the source. What do you think might change if you did that?